I went to prison. I was looking at 2 to 5 years. I was in prison in Mexico. I got in here because of my choices and the decisions that I did.
I wanted to sit down with Hector and just kind of, ask some personal questions, get to know him a little better. I've done so many videos here already with him. I actually have a playlist with there's 7 videos for all H2O. Yeah, so this is gonna be 8. So we're gonna add this into the playlist. So guys, if you want to watch all the videos I've ever done here, go into the channel and check out the H2O playlist, and you guys will just be totally entertained watching all those videos. But it's always been about business every time, and I'm getting to know him a lot better. So I asked him, hey, can we go into the office, sit down and have a drink? And he said, sure, And I've had a crazy long, busy week, and I got myself a White Claw, and he got a Celsius. So let's crack that, man, and relax a little bit. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Yeah. So I have a set of questions written down I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Cool. All right, cool, man. So the first question is, do you ever get tired of detail stuff? Like basically, like your whole life is like detail related. Like it's just, as far as your shop here, you got a shop where you build custom setups. You guys have a retail shop. You guys even have a water filling station for Spotless. There's so many different departments. You guys are expanding other locations. It's nothing but detail stuff. Do you ever get tired of it and want to bring in another side of the business, like maybe flip cars or houses? Just, do you ever get tired of detail stuff to where do you have anything on the side you're doing that's not detail? And the I guess the follow-up question after that is, with all the money you're making, are you doing anything with investing with your money? Like, do you spend it on stuff like invest-wise?
So, do I ever get tired of detailing? Is kind of I think when someone does something that they love, and obviously when you do something because you have to, there's a difference. But I think for me, I don't get tired of it. It's more of like, I need to organize my schedule so I could do the things I like to do. I love running a business. I love managing. I love doing the marketing. I love coming up with new ideas. I love what I do. Sometimes, some situations, there's some things that happen where client isn't happy or something gets messed up, and that's the days that I really do like, oh, I'm tired of this stuff. Like, I wish it could just flow good.
For sure.
But in all reality, it's not always going to be like that. But what can change is the person you are. How are you going to react to it? What can you do to eliminate that issue as soon as possible? But no, like all my life, I pretty much grew into detailing. It wasn't anything like how people nowadays say it, like, oh, I watched you on YouTube and like I seen how you do your mobile detailing. Like, that's super fun. For us, it was mainly that my dad got deported. He came back from Mexico. And he didn't have a job, so he was washing cars for my uncle. And then at that moment, my uncle was like, "Hey, like you should just do this." My uncle himself had like 12 different cars because he has a landscape company and all that stuff. So he bought him like a vacuum, and then he got his equipment inside his truck, started detailing, and then at that moment, I would start to go wash with my dad, and that's where my whole thing started, where we started detailing. And then after that, I started figuring out like, hey, there's other things apart from just washing a car. There's other techniques. There's more stuff that gets into it. You got to become a salesman. You got to become a marketer. And that's why I think me and my dad kind of paired up well, because my dad is a very hard worker. Me, I'm a hard thinker. So paired up together, we make something good, and this is what we've made. But apart from the side hustle, before we had this shop, there was always a side hustle. There's always a side hustle. There's always different opportunities of making more money. Like the whole detailing, when we got cash, we will use that cash to buy passenger vehicles, to buy like just whatever it was. We would go to auctions, like the public auctions. My dad would buy this thing. We'd detail the heck out of it, maybe spray paint a quad or something, and we'll flip it. And it would just make the cash like go bigger. And then my dad never was the type to spend money on flashy things. Like he'll buy himself Skechers, he'll buy himself shirts from Costco. He still does that to this day. You won't ever see him with a Gucci belt, the Gucci shoes, and flashy stuff like that. If anything, I'm the one that's like more influenced by the new culture, how it is now. But I think the way my dad was a hard worker and how he didn't spend money, he taught me to flip things. So we started flipping cars. That helped us accumulate more money to buy more vans. Then we bought more vans. He brought more brothers in to start the business. And then after that, we were running about like 8 different detail vans, and running 8 different detail vans. Imagine, put yourself in the position how your whole arsenal is at home for just your van. You probably have a cabinet somewhere, gallons, extra tools, extra stuff. So for 8 different vans, we had to have drums, and we had to build 8 different setups, whether they were wooden or whatever it was. So we had to get that experience from the get-go. So with that experience, my dad was like, hey, he came up with the idea. He's like, hey, what if we opened a store up? I was still barely getting into the detailing, but I was like, okay, is there gonna be a detailing there? Of course there's gonna be detailing there. So we opened the store up, and then from there, long story short, we're detailing for like a couple of years, and then the same experience that my dad had, we started just selling equipment for people, building stuff. But the other side hustles that I would love to do is like buying commercial real estate. I'm not really interested in like the houses. I'm more interested in commercial real estate because it's always needed. There's always businesses that want to start, that want to work, and some people with the help of everyone and you could become successful. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you know. But as long as you're determined and driven, I think it'll help. But like, I think that's what I would want to get into. Mm-hmm. And as well as like future, I like creating things. So I want to get into more fabrication, whether it is with making different types of setups or making certain items or a certain invention. I still don't know what it would be to this day, but it's definitely, I definitely have like a passion for like learning CNC stuff, just creating stuff over here for the US. And I truly believe that in the US we need to stay strong. We need to fix our economy and keep our manufacturing here. Stop giving things to other countries when the US really needs it. We really need more inventors, more factories out here that help us. But yeah, other than that, I don't get tired of it, but I do start taking on new hobbies. Like I do mountain biking now. Before it was the gym, but then I got bored of it, and then but now I'm getting back into like mountain biking. And as long as you fix a schedule, you don't think you'll ever get tired. And I love it. There's always something new to do. Like today, like we're filming a video, and then but yeah, side hustles definitely. We still sell vehicles because we're our detailing company, but we still sell vehicles, not passenger vehicles, but full detail vans. So that would be like a side hustle.
That's great, man. That's that's pretty awesome. Like it sounds like all the things you guys done, it's kind of hard to lose interest. Like you've went through so many developing stages and expanded in so many areas that whatever ambitions you had, it, you know, you pretty much satisfied it by just going into it, you know,
Yeah.
from the very start. So it's like, you know, how can you get bored of all detail stuff when you guys are multitasking in so many areas?
Yeah.
It's pretty damn entertaining, I would say. So that's cool. And then you know, I agree with, you know, some of your other interests is the commercial properties and stuff. That's really exciting too, getting into that area.
Yeah.
So the next question is, oh, this is kind of a personal question, but I want to ask it anyways because
Wait. But you also said, what do we do with the money that we get?
right.
So to first off, there's a lot of overhead. It's not as much as what people think that we make. It's more of like we created a lot of jobs for a lot of people. We staff over 15 people at probably this one location. Some people might be like, oh, it doesn't make sense money wise, but I mean, at the end, what we want is people to get their vans faster, people to get their service done faster. So we have a bunch of people here too. But with that money, what I'm doing is making a new order, more stuff,
Right.
more products. So I'm never out of stock. Like it's constantly going back in.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to do, maybe retire or buy this or buy that when you still have a vision to keep growing.
You're still growing.
Yeah.
You're still growing. But definitely what you got to do is save.
Right.
So save and live below your means. Just because you make a little bit of money, and doesn't mean you gotta go spend it.
Right.
It means you gotta live how you were living when you were broke. Trust me, I've been in the situations where myself, like, there's zero in my bank account, and I'm wondering, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna make it at the end of the week? How am I gonna pay these things? And I hate that feeling. That's the number one feeling that I hate.
Nothing worse than feeling broke.
And it's just, I always think about it because I always put myself in those situations. And the funny thing was that it was because I was always living beyond my means, always trying to make other people happy, taking them out, paying for their things, or going in situations that maybe he's rich and he could afford to go to spend 3 days at Vegas and blow thousands on the table, but I'm not in the same situation. So let me get back to work. Let me do my thing.
For sure.
Let me do my thing. That's what I started differentiating myself. Like,
Make your own lane.
yeah, like I'm not in his position. Why am I gonna go over there and like be in the back burner and try to be there and that I'm not? No, let me go back to where I'm at. Let me go back to work. That's how I always felt.
And I commend you for that too, man. You were telling me earlier that you're 25 and you're not your typical 25-year-old. You know, you definitely. I know you had your learning experience.
Yes.
But you're learning quick though. That's the good thing. And you do learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
so.
like the main thing was that just recently, I think this was like 3 years ago, that I went to prison, which is nothing crazy. It was probably like just a month, but thankfully and thank God, my mom was able to give me a good lawyer, so they got the charges dropped. But I was looking at 2 to 5 years in prison, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know my mom knew I was in prison. I was in prison in Mexico. My dad had to go back to the business, and I was like, hey, I got in here because of my choices and the decisions that I did. But and I was like, I'm doing the 2 years for sure, at least. So the whole time I was just coming closer to my faith, and as well as like, you have 24 hours of the day to think about things. And when I was in there, I was like, man, 2 years, what could I have done in 2 years? Matt, you grew your business in what, 5 years? What could you have done in those 2 years that you're gonna waste inside of prison?
So that experience kind of accelerated your growth.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It made me.
It kicked out like a lot of immaturity and stuff.
It was a wrap.
Dude,
It was,
congrats for. I mean, not congrats for that, but thank God for giving you what you needed to learn.
I think that was from God.
Right.
I think it was like I'm thankful for the lows because it's really molded me to I think it's setting me up to be that person. To hopefully one day.
Because you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You're on the track to be filling some big shoes.
And then to me, it's like my dad's never done bad. My dad's he doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He's never been to prison. He's never been the bad person. He's always been the hard worker. And since he's been a kid, he's told me that he came to the U.S. to help his family go out of bankruptcy in Mexico. So that's his whole thing, and that's why I'm like, I need to step up my game. And at that moment, I was just thinking about so much things, and
I mean,
even there, I was like, no, I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna go to school. But at the end, I was like, look, God blessed me with this. My dad God blessed my dad and my family with this.
Right.
Let me continue to it.
Exactly.
I don't want my dad to pass away without him seeing the full potential of H2O.
Right.
Without him seeing the riches. Without him being able to experience a retirement life. There's no retirement plan over here.
And you have the qualities to make that happen. You know, I know you got the skills, and it sounds like that it kind of put everything in perspective for you, just because you needed to know why you're doing this. I know when you're young and you're kind of all over the place, you don't really have a solid understanding of what you're trying to achieve. But now how you put it in a perspective of why he did everything for his family, and now you have more of a solid foundation for that.
Yeah, and also I try not to be too ambitious. I don't like to be ambitious at all because that's greediness. But I do have goals.
Greediness, that takes me to my next question. Let me talk to you about this.
Yeah.
All right, so now this is kind of a personal question, but we're both businessmen. Like, we work hard, really hard. And we know our potential, right? Like, you know, maybe 1 year you made so much money and you're like, dang, I could make that much money in a year. Dang, I could do more, you know? Like, there's millionaires out there. Like, if they can do it, I can do it, right? So my question to you is, how much money are you content? Like, I know the answer for myself. I've already done a lot of soul searching. I've been in business a lot, long enough to have a clear outlook on what I'm going for, right? So I want to ask you, how much money are you content with making per year? Is it 6 figures? Is it 250K a year? Is it 500K a year? Is it $1 million a year? And you're not being cocky here. We're just, I mean, it's a simple answer. Just because if you want to be a millionaire or you want to make 100K a year or something, it's fine. You know, there's you're not better than nobody, but it's just your specific ambition. So obviously you've had a few great years here at H2O. Awesome years. You guys are always growing. I'm sure you guys are in the positive a lot of years. I know you said that you've been putting a lot of money back in the business, but it doesn't mean that you're not living on a $100,000 budget, a $200,000, because you can make 150K, right? You know, maybe a quarter of that goes back into the business, but then you're grossing, like you gross and you net, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've netted a couple years, probably over 6 figures. What are you comfortable with, and where do you want to go with that?
For me, I ask that question a lot sometimes, because you always want more. Like,
for sure,
you could ask your boss.
There has to be a breaking point, or I don't know how.
You could always ask your boss, like,
yeah, there has to be a ceiling.
Give me a raise, and then you'll be happy for that 1 week, but then but then you took on a new bill. You took on a new car payment. Now you're like, I feel like I need more money. So that's what happens a lot of times that's what I'm saying, live below your means.
And save money. And I
money.
see that. I know you already reached that point where you're not like spending and always putting pressure on yourself where you have to like stay ahead of your bills and you're overwhelmed because you spent your whole paycheck. Now you got to keep going. Or maybe you made 100K, but you used all that money. So now you want 200. But no, we're talking from a mature professional standpoint of what's your goal, man? You know, for me, you gotta. Maybe you're not there yet.
So,
but because I told you,
I know what it is. So for me, it's just all I want is a.
No. Give me a number, bro. It has to be a number.
No, I'm gonna add it up right now. I'm
yeah.
gonna add it up right now. So all I want is the car, house.
Right. So whatever that yearly income affords those things, you'll be content.
So
that's where I'm at too.
I think it would be along the lines of minimum of like 15 to 20,000 a month, and that's because I don't want my wife to work and I want to have a lot of kids. And
it's very expensive to live out here in California, guys. Like 100K is like entry level. 200K is pretty modest.
And I'm not saying I make that. I'm not saying I make that.
But it's doable to make 20K, 15K a month. 20K.
But that's my goal with having different side hustles. Like the money. Like I get paid through the business. Mm-hmm. It's not like I take the profits.
Yeah.
No.
It fluctuates and everything.
We don't do that. Like we get paid through check. We got payroll. We're all W-2. So at the end, what I gotta do is just save some money.
And then for the goals. You gotta put what you want in the front of your mind and then go for it. So like basically out here, it's for just a basic 3-bedroom home, 200 square feet inside, maybe a 700 square feet lot. 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
We're talking about $1 million home?
$1 million home. So in order to do that, you're gonna need about 50K down, 100K down, something like that. So
you know how much you need to make for that?
Plus you're renting. So about 20K to so probably about $250,000 a year is what you need to be.
No, but a month. What you need to make 20,000, but the payment's gonna be like $6,000, $7,000 for that one small home.
So you got your work cut out for you to hit the goal of the home. And I feel like if you're a Californian, I feel like nut up, grab your balls and fucking be a man and stay here. Don't worry about running away to Texas or Arizona. All these other families have done it. Why can't you? Yeah. So just be intuitive and be ambitious and make it happen. You know, think outside of the box. Whatever you need to do to gradually increase your income to closely get to that goal. But if you start now, you're gonna probably have your home paid off by the time you're 60.
But then I'm also not looking for like the home to be paid off. I'm looking to buy like at least a home that they'll give me a credit for, renovate it, rent that. Get another one, equity.
That's what I want to do. I want to have 1 or 2 rentals, so when I retire, I can live on like a pretty decent retirement, fixed income with the rental money coming in. So 2 to 3 properties would be ideal. It's a lot of work, guys. You got to definitely buckle down and really, really increase your income.
But before we go. You said something about people running away out of California.
This could be a whole nother show right here, because definitely, buying a home in California is a big subject.
But then also, it's not just the prices. It's the I'm tired of getting taxed so much. Do you get taxed off?
Well, I have that question in here. Let's wait for that question because it's one of the ends. What's Hector doing with all this hard work, all this investing? What do you want to do with it, bro? Do you want to buy? We went over it, but we'll go over it again. But you want to buy a home? Where do you want to buy it? What city? And also, after you buy the home, what else with your leftover money? What do you want to invest in?
So I got it planned out. So with the money that I have, is remember how the growth thing was?
Right.
This is a little embarrassing, but if you guys wait until the end of this video, you guys deserve to know the truth. But the whole thing was that when I was like 18, I got access to credit cards. And unfortunately,
that's too super bad. It's tempting.
Unfortunately, I had decent credit too, so I got approved for an $8,000.
I know where you're going. I've ruined my credit once or twice.
So I had an $8,000 credit card that they approved me for, and at that moment, I didn't think I have a car. So then I used some of the money to
$8,000 credit card at 18.
Yeah,
that's a lot of.
So then at that moment, I needed like $5,000 for like a down payment on a bike, and then I used it for the bike, and then after,
you were balling out, huh?
Yeah,
you were balling. You're like, I got $8,000.
Because to me it was like at that moment I was like, oh, 12 months 0% interest, minimum payment is $80. I could use $8,000. I'll pay it off.
It sounds good on paper. You're like, I could do this.
I'll pay it off in no time, right?
Yeah.
But no, then the 12 months left. Now interest card coming up and credit cards just going up. But nonetheless, I got access to another card. Just being irresponsible, living beyond your means. Like I said, that example in Vegas it's not fake. It really happened. I was in situations where I'm next to people that are making a lot more than me, and I'm trying to hang out with them because I got a good relationship with them. We're not in the same lane. So what do I have to do?
You were hanging out with rock stars.
I gotta take out my card. I gotta be someone that I'm not. I gotta be
$100 bottle.
And I'm stressed out over here, trying to impress some people, try to hang out with these people. But it didn't. I don't think, dude.
We've all been there. We've all been
so
there.
empty.
Everyone's done it.
But I lost that money. But the main thing, what this year is to be out of debt. That $8,000 card, is already down to $1,000. I'll probably pay it off between like next month already. I had other cards.
Feels good, right?
It feels so great. Good. Credit is up right now. Credit is up
Checking
right now.
out your Credit Karma every day. Let's see how it's going.
I'm paying for my own bills now. I moved out my mom's house, and then as well as like I'm having a kid too. So now it's a whole different shift.
Congratulations.
It's a whole different shift. I'm engaged. It's a whole different shift. This is in the matter of 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years. Remember, I was in prison, came out, and I still had some bad habits. Still was drinking, still was doing these things. So now I just have 2 years in the skin. In the skin, if not this 1 year, I'm waking up early. I'm coming to work. I have a reason to come in and be successful. Not just making money. It's being successful. I have something to prove for my dad, for my family,
consistent.
For my family, all the people out there. I have something to prove, and I got a lot to do. People know me as this other person, but no, I'm a great person. I'm very smart. I'm very hardworking. I'm hearing about your rental company. Another guy came to me and told me he buys a $2,000 car. Make sure it works right. He doesn't even put it on Turo. He puts it on OfferUp or like Facebook Marketplace, and he rents it out to Uber Eats drivers, Door Dashers. He rents it out for like $200 a week. And what the Uber driver doesn't care that it's a beater. They just need a car. You could do that too. But my whole thing is maybe have a budget of $5K on a car, and I'm almost there. It's just like I want to make sure I always have some money there. There's always something that might come up, and I don't want to go to credit cards. I'm done with that.
No.
I'm done with that. If anything, the credit's only there when I need to buy commercial properties or properties.
Bro,
that's it.
You have a clear understanding of what needs to be done. I totally can relate to everything you're saying. Like, credit cards are terrible. They're like the devil. They just keep you down. It sounds like you got a crisp, clear vision of what you need to do and where you're going. So that definitely answers my question there. Like I said, like I relate, man. Like this year, I've been doing a lot of investing, and sometimes I overinvest. I spend too much money, and I want to get the best of the best, and I overinvest, and now I'm in debt, and the money's not returning as quick. But this year for me was all about getting out of debt. So I'm literally like a month away from getting out of debt myself, bro.
Feels
and
good.
Yeah, it was like thousands of dollars in credit, bro. Lots of interest paid out, but it's getting there. And then my next step is to do nothing but save. And then from there, once you're saving and you have years of saving, then we're gonna start talking about buying property, my first property. So it's exciting, bro. It sounds like it's both exciting times for both of us. I have a little 2-year-old daughter myself. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Dude. I love her to death. She's my literal world. So,
but okay, hold on. I'll make this short. But also, credit is good when you use it for business. But then also it could be bad too because for some people they're lazy and they don't work their ass off. But I know someone that really would need credit and they're a hard ass worker, but they don't have credit.
For sure.
And I know someone that's smart. They get credit and then they build a good business.
Yeah.
And then there's also people that put on credit and they just don't ever manage it.
There's
right.
a name for it. It's called leveraging your credit.
Yes.
So if you guys can leverage your credit and make it work in your favor, it is literally one of the best things in life, right? There's like, what are some of the best things in life? H2O, air, food, fucking leveraging credit. So it's up there in the best, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
hey, man.
and also use it for expenses. Like say you got your actual physical money, or not physical, but like your debit money, and then you have your credit card. You could pay stuff on credit card, but you got to make sure you pay it there and then. But that's just because you wanted to get points, or you want to do. I like to have it because of fraud. I don't want to have my actual bank account.
That's
I'd rather have
smart,
the
too.
credit card.
You guys, if you can get to that level, I mean, there's some truth in that. But for me, just coming out of years of debt, I've just trained myself to only use my debit card because I'm just deathly afraid of I'm deathly afraid of accidentally losing control again because you just keep swiping and swiping that credit card. Like
sure.
I even took mine off Amazon. You know how you just swipe to buy?
I had to do that too. I had to lock my cards. I had to lock them.
Yeah, because you'll swipe to buy and the balance goes up. So just put your debit card on Amazon if you want to get away from credit cards. And if you want to pay off your debt, just stop using your credit card completely.
Just think about it twice and see if you really need it.
We could have a debt podcast. We should try that one day.
You know what it is,
just
though?
on debt help, debt relief.
You know what it is? People are too embarrassed to talk about this stuff. They're too embarrassed. They wanna perceive themselves as like, oh, I'm the richest guy.
True.
No, bro.
We're all struggling.
I wasn't heavily in debt. I felt like I was choking. I felt like, why am I even working? Because I'm just paying off debt. But no, there's a silver lining at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And the main thing is, stop trying to be someone that you're not. Stop trying to go with people that are in a different lane. They maybe got daddy's money. They maybe be inherited. Imagine, I'm first generation over here in the U.S. My parents came from Mexico over here. My dad barely got his papers and he got deported. He just came over here. We have no stabilization over here. We didn't have a house. We didn't have anything to get inherited over here. We're in different lanes. We're barely building our generation over here.
True. Yeah, especially it's even sweeter when you had to work so hard for it. It's definitely more rewarding. 100%, man.
I don't think it's sweeter, but at the end, when you do things yourself, it's nice. But then as well, man, imagine if I grew up.
You learn more.
Yeah.
It might not be sweeter, but you have a more clear.
You probably are more
humble too.
Mature in a sense.
Humility. I feel like even if I get
humble,
to,
yes,
if I get
definitely humble, definitely humble.
I feel like even if I get to millionaire status, which is definitely the goal.
Millionaire?
Yep, millionaire status. So like,
why? What would you do with the million?
Because
if you're a millionaire,
I would still drive a bucket.
So then why would you need to be a millionaire?
So since I have a rental company, obviously I will expand into luxury and imports and hypercars. So you might see me pop up in a Lambo one day. That's definitely the goal. but my daily driver
Okay.
would probably be just a regular Prius Toyota.
Okay, you sound like my landlord. I mean, my landlord doesn't have a bucket. If you guys didn't know, if you guys didn't know, we just H2O, or my dad just bought his first property right here, but we still rent another property because there's like 3 properties in one spot. But the landlord, I learned a lot off of him. We've been knowing him for years. He drives a older Crown Vic. He looks like a cop sometimes. But he's a white guy.
You could be a millionaire and be super normal.
His house, amazing. His wife, she's like super humble, super nice. Himself is super humble, super nice. Imagine, we didn't know anything. He just saw 2 Mexicans coming over here trying to rent his building. He wasn't even that scared of like, are they gonna pay rent or anything? I lived at the shop for months and shower at the gym. That's how bad we wanted it. We got rid of our home to take on a new rent. Imagine trying to balance both. But
I'm sure he's seen something in you guys. He had an eye for that.
no, he trusted us, and what we did, we elevated his property. We just painted the whole thing. We did a new gate. Everything in there we fixed. We don't ever really call them. We're elevating his property, making the property
100%.
value go up, and he thanks us for that too. And he's always bringing his business, like bringing his cars to wash. Like in the beginning, all we did was washes, because ain't nobody coming to the store when you really started up.
Right. Yeah, you guys have a detail department.
Yeah, so
In-house detailer.
But what he told me was that he's even talking about that too, the debt. The debt. He told me that the property that we're renting is paid off. It's like a 1.2, $1.5 million property. Paid off.
Sweet.
This guy's not even more than 60 years old.
Damn.
I think he's 50. He's got multiple things, and that's why he tells me, like, the main thing is save your money. He tells us right now, save your money. And a lot of mobile detailers, if you guys are watching, you guys make so much cash flow, and you have the opportunity of literally making whatever you want. But the main thing is, how much can you save? People talk about the money they make, but they don't talk about the money they save. And that's why I think it's very important to know about these situations. And I'm not afraid to be out there and to tell you, like, hey, that's my goal this year, and that's what's gonna happen. And hopefully next year we'll get that. We'll come back to me and, hey, I flipped these couple of cars. It's another business going on.
You know what? I hear you, man. And honestly, though, it's crazy though, because to the average person, or it's savings is so like alien to them. It's like, but honestly, anybody could save. Like honestly, man, I'm really, so there's like a whole savings gang. There's a whole savings community, right? So like I'm ready to get inducted into the saving gang, you know, like gang. Like I'm a saver, dog. I'm a saver, you know.
But at the end, are you talking about the savings where like they try to buy like a cheaper pressure washer to save a couple $100, or like
No.
Are you talking about people actually saving their
I'm
profits?
definitely change your spending habits.
Okay,
like obviously get quality equipment that's gonna be a good investment.
Dude, because I see people like I see some customers come in and they got like super nice clothes. I don't even got those shoes or that certain glasses. But then at the end you're like, no, I don't want that certain item. I'm telling you, this is an investment. And at the end, have you ever looked into like franchising?
When I see people like that, man, I get worried, because I think, well, if they're afraid to spend that for their business, how are they going to operate their business? I feel like it starts from the same. If you're,
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, man.
Because that has to do with their values.
It has to do with their character, man. So if you got a character from the get-go that is always trying to get the cheapest of the cheap, then how are they going to conduct their business? What type of service are they providing for their customer? So I always get worried, man. Like, and I mean, it might not be intentional. Sometimes people just are simply a little ignorant and they just don't understand the value of like high quality equipment. So, but once you experience it, like I went through like a full on phase, like many years of just buying high quality items and really experiencing the longevity and the great investment, like literally little things from just like houseware stuff.
Yeah, because you were being patient too when you also built your setup too.
Yeah, it took a while. It was almost a year building it. But hey guys, so look, this is funny though, because this ended up turning into a full video. So this video is gonna be a full just video, you and I chatting.
Okay.
So, but our last question here is, and I appreciate you guys for watching. I really do. If you're enjoying it, give the channel a subscribe, because this is all we put out. Good stuff like this for you guys. If not, do me a favor, give me a little like, just a little like, just go in a little button there and press that little tiny thumbs up button, just a little, it's not hard, right?
It's not a little like. I know we had a conversation before we went on this video, and I see our values are kind of aligned, and I really support him and he supports us. Like I'm not paying him to do this video. He's not paying me to do this video. At the end, what he wants to do is put quality content for you guys out there. And if you guys do appreciate that, there's also another guy behind the camera, which is E-Money, Eric. And there's a lot of things that go on to these videos. So if you guys do appreciate that, make sure you guys drop a comment, drop a like, share it with someone as well if you've been in this position. And yeah, tell us about your debt too.
Yeah.
Your debt, your goals, your dreams. How much do you need to make? I told you I need to make like 15 to 20,000. I'm not making that. I don't want you to think like I'm freaking balling like that. But I'm sure there's detailers out there that are making that right now. But yeah, are they saving it?
I'm sure there's guys that have a couple of sources of income combined, could be making about 15K.
Yeah.
And guys,
show us a new side hustle. Show us something else. What can we? Okay, show us first. How can we optimize our detailing business? How can we make the most out of it? Value, and then maybe bring out another side hustle while you're still detailing. Show us what you do.
Yeah, I would love to do that. We'll get into that definitely, because I know a lot of you guys got a little bit of money left over after paying the bills every month, so we could give you an idea of what you could do for that.
Yeah,
and like
that'll help me.
And I'm telling you guys, too. And I hope you're liking the content. I hope you went in there and gave us that little like. Eric and I are putting a lot of money into this video. I hope you're liking the new audio, because I just got some new crispy wireless mics that weren't cheap. They're not cheap, guys. But I got them because we needed 2 pairs, because me and Eric are going to be mic'd up. We're going to be feeding off each other, bouncing off stuff, ideas and comments when we're filming. But all right, so here's the last question. This is a juicy question.
Okay, you look like you're getting off your seat. It might be.
All right, so as far as your retirement, where do you want to retire, and how do you want to retire? So like, what state do you want to retire? What kind of house? Is it a ranch? Is it a mobile home? Is it a condo? Is it right here in the city? Where do you want to retire when you're done? You're done. It's time to just chill because your bones hurt and you're old, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then what do you want to do with your free time when you're retired? Because obviously you're retired, but a lot of guys that retire, they never stop working, because when you stop working, then you might die. You know that thing, us guys, we don't live that long. So like when we really slow down and we stop moving, we could die. So you got to keep moving and you might live longer, right? So do you want, with your free time, are you just going to go fishing? Are you going to ride dirt bikes? Are you just going to be shooting? Or are you going to do that plus have a little side business too, right? Like a little money coming in. Like you said, you want to be a property manager, stuff like that. So, but first tell me, where do you want to retire? What state? Because look, I'll tell you guys, I've been a city boy my whole life in the densely populated cement jungle. And I think by the time I'm 60, 70, I think I could go out to like the desert and have some horses and some ATVs and stuff.
To me, retirement. Why am I gonna wait until I'm old and I can't move to do the things I want to do? Figure out the schedule, be disciplined, do the things you love too. Don't forget about your family, don't forget about your faith, don't forget about yourself. Business and money is always gonna be there. But also when you're working, work your ass off for that hour, for every single minute. But if you're just there for those part of hours, just taking up a lot of your time and you're not effective, what are you doing it? But that's why I say, I don't like the idea of retirement, but you definitely need to have savings.
I literally got chills when you said that because it's true. We work ourselves to death. And then by the time it's time, we only have a little bit to enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can find a balance and actually stop living beyond our means, having enough money to enjoy life, having enough money to say, hey, I'm gonna take a week off. Because most people, they're always dollar to dollar, so they could never take a week off and like enjoy.
Hard. It's hard. And I'll pray for them too.
Yeah, man, like pray for me, because if you can just take a week to decompress and live your life a little bit, then maybe you don't have to do it. By the time, maybe you don't have to be waiting until you're literally 60 or 70, because that's when most men retire. My dad, he's gonna retire at like 70, man. And like, bless his heart, I hope he lives longer. Like he gets a good 30 years after that, 20 years. But some guys, they don't make it much past 70.
It's all God's will. And at the end, depending on his beliefs and his relationship, the afterlife is eternal. Mm-hmm. It's eternal. Much more valuable than what we have here.
For sure. But so let's say if we'll remove the word retire, where do you want to ultimately live? What's your vision?
I know where I want to live.
When you're older though, like what's your ultimate vision? Because is it to be embedded in the city and like a nice mansion type?
I know where I want to be.
Do you want to be on the outskirts where like where Belinda is? You know?
I want to be in 3 states. I want to be in California. I want to be in Houston, Texas, and I want to be in Florida, Miami, Florida.
Seasonal, like over here, season this, season that. That's cool.
I love the idea of having a home in California, having a home in the middle, having another home on the East Coast.
So by that time, would you just be managing like a CEO, kind of like overseeing the operations still, but just not like here?
I don't know.
12 hours a day.
I don't know what God had as planned for me. I don't know.
Maybe you could just sell it by that time.
I don't know.
Sell it for
but what I do know is that we're gonna continue to strive to be the best.
Maybe there'll be another Hector Jr.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't. Do you know if you're having a boy or a girl?
Boy, it'll be a boy, and it will be Hector III Cruz Hernandez. But I don't know. I don't know what could happen. But what I do know is that what matters is what we do now. Right now, we're making and talking about the realest things, and we're gonna make the best video. That's what I'm worried about right now. Yeah.
I like that, brother. Hey, that's a perfect closing. So I enjoyed my White Claw, you guys. I don't know if you ever had one before, but it's a great business drink, I would say, because there's really not too many consequences after drinking one of these. But anyways, thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I will see you guys soon with another H2O video. We got a lot planned. Yeah. All right, guys.
Well, are we going to film one right now?
Yep, we're going to do another one. So next week, from moving forward, every single Monday at noon, you can expect a video.
Every single Monday.
I promise you guys. All right.
Okay.
I will not let you down. But that's the new business model for our YouTube channel. Is every single Monday at noon. All right, guys.
Thank you guys for watching, and check out H2O Auto Detail Supplies if you guys do at all want detailing supplies, custom setups, or even some advice. We also do trainings over here. We're located in Covina, California, but give us a call. We're ready. We're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thank you guys.
And we'll link all the socials for them in the description. So check it out. Also check out our last video that we made. It's in the description too. So if you enjoyed this one, you could just go in there, click our last video and see it and keep watching. All right, guys.
Shout out Eric.